What's going on, y'all? This is WWE superstar Kofi Kingston, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Daniel Bryan, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is the innovator of violence, the extreme original, Tommy Dreamer, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is Trish Stratus, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored. People listening, Stratisfaction is guaranteed.
Aw, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North.
What's up?
WrestlingUncensored.net is our website. Here on TSN 690 every Saturday night talking professional wrestling. We are 1 week away from WWE Fastlane, and we are 5 weeks away from Wrestlemania.
And it's shaping up now, too.
5 weeks away from WrestleMania. After Fastlane on Sunday, next Sunday, we'll be on the road officially to WrestleMania, 4 weeks there, and then we have WrestleMania 35.
And it looks like we have a huge match pretty much set for WrestleMania, or they pretty much are starting down that road with the end of Raw, it seems.
That's right. A lot of big returns on both Raw and SmackDown this week, right? We saw the return of Roman Reigns, which we're going to get to. Very impressive stuff, and it seems like he's back in the mix, ready to wrestle.
It's good.
We saw the return of Kevin Owens on SmackDown,
Amazing.
which was very exciting, and he's got a big match now at Fastlane, which we'll get to.
Cool.
We saw the return of the Broken One, Matt Hardy, on SmackDown, teaming with his brother Jeff to get a win over the Bar.
It's not really broken anymore, but...
Nah, he's just Matt Hardy. But him and Jeff, the Hardy boys, the Hardy brothers, back together. Matt looking in top shape. See the abs on that guy? Unbelievable. Looks great.
It looks like you lost weight, too, though.
Hey, it looks lean and mean. Looks ready to fight. Looks tremendous. Happy to see Matt Hardy back. And, of course, at the end of Monday Night Raw, the return of Batista. Dave Batista back on Raw. It was a Ric Flair birthday celebration. They had promo videos. They had a special title belt made. Triple H and Stephanie were in the ring talking about how much they love Flair. And then they brought out Ricky Steamboat and Sting, two of Flair's favorite opponents, and Kurt Angle for some reason.
That was weird. Just Kurt Angle. Okay. Sure.
Why was Kurt Angle there? It was like Ricky Steamboat, all right. Sting, yep. Shawn Michaels, sure. Had his retirement match. Kurt Angle. I guess he was friends with Ric Flair.
They wrestled, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Sure, they wrestled.
But, like, you talk about iconic Flair opponents. Michaels, Steamboat, Sting. Angle? Or was Jay Lethal?
Oh, we had Snoop Dogg at least, so that's all right.
Yeah, on video. Stone Cold on video, too, which was cool to see. Steve Austin. No Hogan. I figured Hogan might have shown up for that. That seemed like a prime spot for Hogan to be at.
Yeah, but Hogan would just be there. He wouldn't be the star, so I don't think Hogan would like that too much.
He'd take attention away from Ric Flair, I think, too. Such a big star. Big Terry. So everybody's in the ring. Everybody's celebrating Ric Flair. And then they introduce Ric Flair and no Flair. And then you cut to backstage, and you hear some rumbling in Ric Flair's dressing room, some fake beatings happening, and then Flair is there, and Batista drags him out of the dressing room, and he says, "Triple H, did I get your attention now?" And that's how Raw ended. And I'm like, what? Blutista's back?
Well, then Triple H went backstage and checked on him and everything.
Oh, yeah, Triple H is like, "Oh, no, what's happened to Rick? Are you okay? I love you. He's a 70-year-old man. How could you do this, Batista? I want revenge at WrestleMania. It's happening. Triple H, Batista, WrestleMania, brother. The match that you don't want to see. Why? I mean, I get it. you know, it's a big match, and they set it up a few months ago when Batista was on TV there with the Evolution, thing that they did, the reunion. But, like, the match itself, ouch. It's going to be, as the great Jim Ross would say, bowling shoe ugly.
Well, the last one was, WrestleMania 21, I believe, was their match when Batista won. And that's the huge thing that they're selling is the fact that Batista always beat Triple H. Triple H never beat him. Uh-huh. Even though I think he beat him on Raw a couple times, but never beat him in a big match. And now this is his moment. Triple H hasn't won at WrestleMania in years. Mm-hmm. So this gives him a win. It gives Batista a WrestleMania moment again, which he wanted. He wanted a match. And Triple H was the guy he wanted. So everyone wins, I think, in the end, except you.
What do you mean, I'm going to win, I'm the game, if the storyline is, I'm never winning, that means at Mania, I'm going to win, my company, I go over,
He beats the guests, he just doesn't beat the guys on the roster, pretty much. He beats Sting when he shouldn't have, and he's going to beat Batista when, it doesn't really matter if he wins or loses, but he's going to win.
It does not matter. This match will be bowling shoe ugly.
No, I think there's going to be a lot of salad dressing.
You think it's going to be a slobber knocker? Do you think Batista is going to beat Triple H like a government mule? Do you think... I'm trying to fit as many JR-isms as I can into one sentence. Do you think Triple H is tougher than a $2 steak?
You could beat
Good
him.
God Almighty.
You can beat him with one leg or something.
He's tougher than he's like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Right. Yeah.
There you go. There's another
like
JR-ism. He's got a lot of them. And they're all gems.
It'd be great if we had JR WrestleMania, but we're
By God, Batista, Triple H, good God Almighty. It's a slobber knocker. These two icons.
He would sell it, unfortunately.
He would. Cole will not be able to sell it for me, brother. I am not buying that match. That is garbage. But, I get it. Like, Batista's a movie star. Triple H is a superstar in wrestling. They're going to wrestle. They have history. Fine. Batista beat up Ric Flair for some reason to get Triple H's attention, which, I think he had his attention on SmackDown when they had that face-off. But... okay, you had to beat up Ric Flair to get a match. I think pretty much you walk into the WWE offices and you're like, hey, I'm Batista. I'd like a match at WrestleMania with Triple H. WWE's like, yeah, all right, that makes sense. Makes sense to me. What else is Triple H going to do this year? Wrestle Taker for the millionth time?
That actually would kind of make a lot of sense because they were feuding for a little bit. So, yeah, why not, actually? And maybe you could actually throw in Taker into this.
Another triple threat here? No, I don't think so. Taker is not going to be at WrestleMania this year. The old guy match is going to be Triple H. I think we're just going to have one old guy match on this card.
When you think about it, we only need one, really.
I think that's enough. I don't know if we need any, but we're going to get one. The old guy match, Triple H and Batista. I feel like we have an old guy match on WrestleMania every year for the past few years. Right? Sting and Triple H had one. Who had it last year? Who'd Taker wrestle last year?
Taker wrestled Cena.
Cena. Yeah, that was kind of an old guy match. They barely wrestled. Oh, Brock wrestled Goldberg last year, didn't he?
That was the year prior.
Oh, the year before. That was an old guy match.
I guess.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of those kind of matches where it's like, oh, who's Triple H wrestling? I mean, Triple H wrestled Kurt Angle last year, right? It was a mixed tag, but, Stephanie and Ronda saved it.
Stephanie and Ronda saved it.
Well, Ronda saved it. Come on. What was everybody talking about last year after WrestleMania? Wow, Ronda Rousey's a pretty good wrestler.
Well, I think you actually have to give credit to Triple H, as much as you don't seem to like him or give him credit.
No, I like him. I just think that he's 48, and he probably shouldn't be wrestling anymore because the match quality is just not what it used to be. Like, I like Triple H, I like The Undertaker, and I remember them in 1999 when they were awesome. And I prefer to remember them in that way. Like, I get that Triple H is a big star and all, but I think, he's had way better days. I remember peak Triple H. He was good. Like, there was a time when he was very good. He's just not that guy anymore. And that's okay. That happens to all athletes.
Well, for me, peak Triple H was Daniel Bryan versus Triple H WrestleMania 30.
Sure.
After that, Triple H started to slow down, it seemed. But that's fine, though, because Triple H still knew how to work, and I thought he made the Ronda match really special. The thing with Batista, as long as you make it like the Sting match, where you just put tons of salad dressing, a lot of weapons, just make it an ODQ match, I think it'll be fine.
Maybe Flair interferes on Triple H's behalf or something.
I throw a lot of interference. Maybe Randy Orton, throw in DX.
Shawn Michaels, Ricky Steamboat, Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
that's why Kurt Angle's there. Because he's going to be in the match. You know, they need a guy that can work in the match. You know, they need another wrestler, so Kurt Angle's there to kind of carry the load, right? It's possible. Because, like, Shawn and Steamboat and Sting, they're not going to carry the load, so maybe Triple H needs somebody else as his second in that match. He'll have Kurt Angle.
I think who
helps Batista, though, you know?
It's just because Kurt was there, because Kurt wrestled on Raw this week, and he's just there, and he likes Ric Flair, and I think Ric Flair likes him, and that's it.
Kurt's match on Raw was like what a Kurt Angle match should be on Raw. He wrestled Jinder Mahal. He beat him in like 5 minutes with the ankle lock, made him tap out. But it's a complete departure from what Kurt Angle has been for the past year. Kurt Angle has been a jobber who can't scrape any offense together against anybody. He's been a total loser and a guy who's been done. All of a sudden this week, they throw him in a match with Jinder Mahal, and he just wins. Like, I'm Kurt Angle. Of course I won. And it's like, yeah, okay, that seems about right, but where is this coming from? It's got to be leading to something, right? With Kurt Angle, all of a sudden, he's like, not. Remember, he lost to Drew McIntyre. He got completely obliterated by him, and then Baron Corbin just completely jobbed him out, too. Looked like an enhancement match for Baron Corbin. Now Jinder Mahal, who's like, I guess not on the same level booking-wise as a Baron Corbin, definitely not as a Drew McIntyre, but he's like a notch below Baron Corbin. He's not that far below booked, than Baron Corbin. So Corbin squashes Angle. Jinder just gets beat. I don't understand the booking logic of it. It really didn't follow a clear path.
Well, they're building Kurt for someone. And he's got to be somewhat credible, I guess, to wrestle this guy. So I guess this guy, whoever he's going to be, is a pretty decent star. And I guess the Corbin, McIntyre, like, they're doing their own little thing now, it seems, with the Shield, perhaps. So Kurt can actually be built into a star again, somewhat, for his match, which more than likely looks like it's going to be his last match.
You think it'll be his last match?
I said it before the rumors got out, and I'm sticking by that.
Who does he wrestle?
I think Jason Jordan makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But
it does.
Maybe it's John Cena. That makes sense, too.
Yeah. Because they had that initial, when Cena debuted on WWE TV, it was with Kurt Angle, right?
Cena, in a way, took Kurt Angle's spot in WWE.
It would make sense for him to retire him. Cena's got to do something at WrestleMania this year.
I feel like there's a lot of options for John Cena. R-Truth is now talking about John Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably won't go that way, but why not? But also Drew McIntyre, maybe, with John Cena.
I feel like Drew McIntyre is going to be involved in something with Roman Reigns. Right? Roman Reigns came back this week, which was the highlight of the week in a week with many highlights. Kevin Owens came back. Who would have thought that I'd be happier about Roman Reigns coming back than Kevin Owens? But, what Roman Reigns has overcome, leukemia, which is now in remission. It's huge. To battle that, it's really 3-4 months he's been gone. He's back. That's a superhero. That's a great story. He cut a promo at the beginning of Raw. The fans went completely nuts for him. You've never heard a louder, positive, 100% babyface reaction for Roman Reigns, right? Roman talked about God a lot and his faith, and that kind of lost to people. You felt them kind of disappearing. He was rambling for a while, but, it's what he believes, and that's what he's going to do, right? But it kind of went on I think the promo went on a little bit too long. But the great news is the big dog is back. The cancer is in remission, and he's back doing what he loves to do, which is being a professional wrestler. Seth Rollins shows up, gives him a hug, and then later on, Dean Ambrose got himself into some trouble. Their old buddy Dean Ambrose. He was wrestling Drew McIntyre. Drew beat Dean after some help from an Elias guitar shot, because it was a no DQ match, right? So Elias helped Drew win. And then Drew, Elias, and Bobby Lashley and Baron Corbin all start beating up on Ambrose after the match. So then Seth and Roman show up and make the save for Dean. They cleared the ring. Roman hit a Superman punch and a spear on Drew. And then Roman and Seth stood tall together, but didn't really look at Dean Ambrose. He was in the corner, kind of beat up, and Roman and Seth were kind of looking at each other, looking at the crowd, and then they walked away. Then they got to the ramp, and they looked back at Ambrose for a second, and then they kind of walked away. It was an odd moment, but I think it was a good moment because Roman Reigns was in the ring getting physically involved. He's fully back, and he has, beat this thing for now. I mean, he's had leukemia before, and this is the second time that it's come back, and we were all hoping that it never comes back for Roman and he can go on to live a long and healthy life. But right now he's beat it, and it's just fantastic to see this guy back, and I think he's going to be involved in something at WrestleMania with Drew McIntyre and with Baron Corbin and maybe Bobby Lashley and Elias too. Like, it might be Dean and Roman and Angle against those four, or Dean and Roman and Angle and Braun Strowman against Bobby and Baron and Elias and Drew. Something like that. I don't really care what they do there. I don't think it's really important. Make it a 6-man, make it an 8-man, whatever. But I think that's how you bring Roman back, because right now there's not a lot for him to do. All the slots are kind of booked up for WrestleMania. So you just throw him in a match where you can showcase him, put him over strong, and then you move on and see what you do with Roman Reigns after WrestleMania.
Well, I think they kind of dropped the ball here a bit. Why did you turn Dean Ambrose into a face again? Because Roman Reigns coming back, wrestling Dean Ambrose, that would have made a lot of sense. But now with them together, just team up and do a tag match or a handicap match, possibly a Fastlane, it's not as intriguing. It just kind of makes sense now, where I don't think this was part of the plan. People say, it was all work. Roman didn't really have leukemia.
Oh, that's terrible. Anybody who says that is just awful. Come on.
But you can tell by this, like, it doesn't make any sense how it's like Dean was turned face. Like,
no, clearly they didn't know when Roman was going to come back, and now he came back, and they're going to try and fit him in the best they can, and they're making it work. And I did see some of that stuff online. People were like, oh, it's all a work, and come on. This is a problem not only with wrestling fans, but with a lot of people in general in the world. And I know people that listen to Wrestling Uncensored don't believe these terrible things, but other people, not the Wrestling Uncensored people, but other people. Just because something is fake doesn't mean everything is fake, right? Just because some things in wrestling, most things in wrestling are a work, doesn't mean everything in wrestling is a work. Just because sometimes there are injuries that aren't really injuries, or just, people going to shoot movies or whatever, doesn't mean Roman Reigns' leukemia is fake. Like, come on. People need to check themselves. Get a grip on reality. Just because the government tells some lies doesn't mean everything they tell you is a lie. You understand?
You're going to get a lot of people paranoid by saying stuff like this.
Well, a lot of people are paranoid, but they're, over-paranoid. But, what did that great guy from Aberdeen say? Not Daniel Bryan, the other guy. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you.
Out to get you, yeah.
I don't think that's the line.
I thought it was out to get you.
No.
Maybe I'm paranoid then.
I don't think you know the Nirvana lyrics that well.
No.
Not like I do, brother. Wow. So, Roman Reigns actually had leukemia. Anybody thinking he didn't, please. Please. It's just awful to even say that or think that. It's the same people that think Bret Hart didn't really get screwed, right? Because so much is fake in wrestling. Oh, the Bret Hart thing couldn't have been real. Must have been a work. Chris Benoit thing was a work. Like, what? People are crazy. No, but people think crazy things out there, John. People, you know. But it's great to see Roman back. You think he's going to wrestle at Fastlane?
Apparently the rumor is him and Seth against like Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. And then WrestleMania, you'll get another one because Seth can't be in that one.
So, Dean, Roman, and Seth, the Shield?
No, just Roman and Seth for Fastlane.
Why?
I don't know why. That's what's advertised, apparently.
It's already advertised.
Local advertisements have that, yes.
What's the match?
Roman and Seth against Drew, Lashley, and Corbin.
No Elias. He didn't make the cut. He'll be at ringside with them.
I mean, we haven't seen Raw yet, and this isn't official, right? I mean, they could change this. This could be a 4-on-4, right?
Bizarre. They're just trying to fit Roman in however they can. Meanwhile, Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, the build there is like non-existent.
It's like a typical Brock thing. You know, when Brock gets there, we'll deal with it. But until we get there, you're just going to have to wait.
Right. Okay, so Roman is back. Great news. Batista is back. That's all right. Matt Hardy is back. Great news. Seeing him with his brother Jeff. They're going to make the SmackDown Tag Division more interesting. And now that New Day is kind of gone, at least for now, from the Tag Division, Kofi seems like he's elevated. You know, you need a solid tag team in there. Add the Hardy Boys to the mix. It's always good. The big news, though, Kevin Owens comes back. And Kevin Owens comes back via Vince McMahon. So Shane and Stephanie start off SmackDown in the ring with Daniel Bryan and Luke Harper for a contract signing. They talk about how, you know, Kofi Kingston is so great and he's done so much for the WWE and he's always been awesome, but we're only now just figuring it out. And I'm like, yeah, Shane and Stephanie, you are only now just figuring it out. What the hell is your problem? We've been talking about it for years. It's just crazy. Isn't it crazy how long we've been talking about how Kofi should be the guy, how they need to elevate the New Day? We've been going on and on and on about it for so long on this show. Now finally it's happening. It's like, wow. It's about time.
Off of an injury too, even. It wasn't
even supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's good. Shows we were right though, right, John? I mean, we've been right all along. About Kofi Kingston.
It's good, but this week was just kind of weird how it was all put together. Like, I get it. They want to take Kofi out of Fastlane, put him into the WrestleMania main event, but the way it was put together, none of it made sense, really.
It was bizarre. So, New Day shows up. Kofi's really happy. He talks about 11 years in WWE, all leading to this. He's going to beat Daniel Bryan at Fastlane to become WWE champion. Daniel Bryan signs a contract. Kofi is about to put his name on the paper. And Vince McMahon shows up, and he says, "Hey, pal, congratulations, Kofi. You deserve everything you're getting, but I need to deliver the best possible box office match. And we need to deliver a big main event for the WWE title at Fastlane. So, Kofi, damn it, you're being replaced by Kevin Owens." And out comes Kevin Owens. He's back, and he sits down and stares down Daniel Bryan. Bryan kind of gets a little smirk on his face, which I liked. I like how Bryan said nothing the whole time, just kind of looked at them, just watched it all go down. Bryan doing an amazing job as champion, saying nothing, but saying everything at the same time. Kevin Owens signs the contract, and Kofi's out of the match. Boom, boom. People are mad. It's the same people that are mad that Becky Lynch isn't in the match at WrestleMania right now. Don't worry, it'll all be fine for Kofi in the end. I feel like this is WWE deciding, okay, we talked about it last week, the different options for Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, Kevin Owens, John Cena, whoever. WWE decided, you know what, we're going to do Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania. But they said, well, we already have him booked for Fastlane. Well, why don't we just scratch that and put somebody else in there? Well, who, Vince? How about Kevin Owens? So they're like, all right, cool. Let's throw Kevin Owens in there. So Kevin Owens just thrown in there as a filler because Kofi Kingston is going to get the match at WrestleMania. Whether he wins or loses, that's besides the point at this point. Kevin Owens is there, but he's only there to kind of fill the spot for Fastlane because they had nobody else. It's not a great return. Like it is. You come back, Vince McMahon is backing you, but you're put in a heel role, but you're kind of a babyface, right? Like everybody hates you because you're replacing Kofi, but then you're a babyface because you're going up against Daniel Bryan. But everybody hates you because Vince McMahon is behind you, and Vince McMahon's also behind Charlotte, and everybody hates Charlotte. But you're a babyface because you're teaming with Kofi Kingston, and you think Kofi Kingston really deserves this. So they put Kevin Owens in this really weird spot that's not really defined. Is he a heel? Is he a babyface? He's not really either. The match with Daniel Bryan will be awesome because they're both amazing wrestlers. Kevin Owens is very unlikely to win the title. And it's just kind of a bump in the road for Daniel Bryan on the way for his match with Kofi at Mania.
You also forgot to mention the past with Vince and Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Owens, last time he interacted with Vince, he was beating him up on SmackDown.
So I just don't get it. It just, a lot of it didn't make sense. Like, you just watch it happen, and it's like, what the heck is going on here?
And then Kevin Owens says he wants to team with Kofi. He teams with Kofi in the main event to beat Daniel Bryan and Rowan. And Kevin Owens pins Daniel Bryan after hitting him with a Stone Cold Stunner.
By God.
What? Is that his new finisher? No more pop-up powerbomb? It's stunner time? It's a nice stunner. Why not?
He hit a pop-up, but he kicked out of it.
Oh, so he had to hit him with a stunner.
It's all right. It's cool. Austin liked it, so.
It's a great finisher. I don't know why somebody else hasn't used it. I mean, when's the last time Steve Austin was an active member of the WWE roster?
It's been too long.
It's got to be at least, 15 years ago?
Maybe more.
When did he have that match with Rock where he kind of called it quits? WrestleMania
19.
And that was pretty much the end, right?
Pretty much.
So it's been, 16 years. Somebody else can have the stunner now. 16 years is enough time has passed. Give it to Kevin Owens. If anybody can do it, it's Kevin Owens. I'm looking forward to the match with Daniel Bryan. I do believe it'll be Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the WWE title. And if Kofi wins, that's okay. I'm not worried about Daniel Bryan that much. I think Daniel Bryan is a main event star. He's got a long-term contract with WWE. He's firmly in position to be a success long-term for them. I'm not worried about him. And I'm happy to see Kofi elevated. Like, it's about time. We've been talking about it for so long. He deserves to be the WWE champion. We've talked about it, how there's never been an African-American WWE champion. There's been African-American World Heavyweight champions, but never WWE champion. So, that should happen at this point. It's way past that happening. That needs to go down. Kofi is a great guy to represent, to do that, and, go ahead. Give it to Kofi. Kofi's very well deserving. Bryan can win the WWE title again or win the Universal title. But also, if you want to have Daniel Bryan beat Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania, I think that works too. Like, I'm happy either way. I don't really care how this goes. I think WWE is likely to make it a victory for Kofi, which is fine, but I think I would prefer a victory for Bryan. I like this title belt. I like this run that he's on. I like the promos that he's doing. I love the character. I think this could go on for a lot longer. This gimmick has legs. Not to say Kofi isn't deserving, but I think Daniel Bryan is in his peak right now. This is his prime. This is the best Daniel Bryan you're ever going to get. And as great as Kofi Kingston is, the greatest Kofi Kingston is not as good as the greatest Daniel Bryan. You know? I mean, I love Kofi, but we're talking about Daniel Bryan here.
Well, I'm pulling for Kevin Owens, so I kind of hope it's going to be Kevin versus Kofi at WrestleMania. But I don't like the chances. The chances don't look good, but
highly unlikely.
I hope Kevin wins.
And then where does Daniel Bryan fit into all this?
You can make everything work out.
Get the hell out of here. There are rumors that Bray Wyatt will interfere and attack Kevin Owens, and it'll be Bray versus KO at WrestleMania.
It's a match Kevin, I think, wanted for a long time. So
Really?
Yeah, he wanted to wrestle Bray Wyatt.
Why?
I don't know why. Two big guys, I guess, going at it. Vince likes that, I'm sure, but
I'm not a fan of that match. I'm not interested, really.
I think the story could be pretty good.
Bray Wyatt.
With the characters and the promos, that could be all right. Kevin's really good in the promos. Like, I wish him and Daniel Bryan could go longer. We're only going to get another week of them before the pay-per-view. It's a shame because them going against each other every week with promos would be fantastic. Sadly, we don't get that.
Okay, Johnny North. We have to get to something. There may be some trouble brewing between Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. Has Ronda worked herself into a shoot? Has Becky worked herself into a shoot? More importantly, because if she has, she's in big trouble because Ronda Rousey can fight for real. So, we're going to get to that. They are going off on Twitter. Have you seen all this, Johnny North?
I saw it.
You saw it. We're going to get to it. It is Wrestling Uncensored. We're here on TSN 690.
You know my stage. Let them know. Do your thing, dog. Keep it live. You know my stage.
This is the Honky Tonk Man, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. And you're listening to the Ringside Report.
Hello, everyone. This is Raymond Rougeau, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Santino Marella, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport, DOTNET. Go check out Dave and Johnny Live that airs every Friday afternoon around 12:30. Johnny and I are live on YouTube. Our brand new setup. We got special effects. We got all sorts of stuff going on. Go to our YouTube channel right now because Fred Garcia, AJ DeLesio, and myself, we are live on YouTube right now talking about UFC 235. John Jones fighting Anthony Smith tonight. We've got Tyron Woodley and Kamaru Usman, Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler, UFC 235 in the Octagon right now, and we are live on YouTube right now watching with you. How am I in two places at once, you ask? I am a magician, or I am a clone of myself. You decide. There are many Dave Simons. I'm not the only one.
I like magic. Magic's cool.
Magic? I don't have multiple clones. That's kind of cool, like a multiplicity scenario.
I was thinking the cards, but okay.
Okay. So let's get back to pro wrestling, Johnny. Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey are involved in a feud, right? Becky Lynch showed up this week on Monday Night Raw, and it was explosive. Ronda Rousey and Natalya were wrestling Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. Becky shows up, attacks Natty. Ronda jumps in. Ronda and Becky have a bit of a brawl. Security stops them. Ronda attacks the security. Becky is handcuffed and arrested because Triple H said if she shows up again, she'll be arrested. So they arrest Becky Lynch on Raw. Ronda Rousey gets in the ring and cuts an amazing promo. She goes, Vince McMahon, get out here right now. She demands Vince come to the ring. That doesn't happen, okay? Stephanie shows up instead. Ronda tells Stephanie to reinstate Becky because she's had enough and she wants to take her out at WrestleMania. She's demanding this, right? Stephanie's like, Charlotte's your opponent for WrestleMania. Becky's been arrested. Settle down, Ronda. Becky did this. And Stephanie says, Becky did this to Becky Lynch. Becky screwed Becky, right? Kind of like a Brett screwed Brett deal. Stephanie. And then Ronda tells Stephanie to go tell her daddy to reinstate Becky and that everyone wants the triple threat of WrestleMania, even the, quote, ginger douche in cuffs. That's what she referred to Becky Lynch as, a ginger douche in cuffs. Shocking statement on Raw, and it got even more shocking. Ronda says, reinstate Becky. I'm not like everyone else here, where you give just enough that I have to come back. I'm set for life. I've bled enough. I am not your worker. I'm Ronda Rousey. She drops the belt and walks out. Boom. That was crazy. Spoke a lot of truth there. And I noticed watching on SmackDown when they did the replay, they took out most of what Ronda said. Like, they are not replaying that. They are not using that again. I don't know how off script Ronda went. I don't know if that is her script, but man, they are going hard with this Ronda Rousey character, or Ronda's taking it into her own hands. Either way, it is damn good stuff. I'm not like everyone else where you give just enough that they have to come back. I've bled enough that I'm set for life. I'm not your worker. I'm Ronda Rousey. Reinstate Becky. I don't care about this belt. Take it. I'm out. That was intense.
Sounds like Paul Heyman writing, I think.
Maybe.
It definitely sounds like Paul Heyman.
It was good.
I didn't like the
How
ginger.
good was that promo?
The ginger line, they definitely should never replay the ginger line.
No, you can't say that.
No, that's not good.
No.
Everything else was fantastic except that. It was like, you went too far there. Even on Twitter, too. I think she used it on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I don't think you can say that. I think that's racist.
Yeah, I think that's crossing the line. She went too far.
Yeah. Is it the G word?
Yeah.
Do people say the G word? I don't think so. Is that a thing now? If it's not a thing now, in a couple years it will be, so you better start saying it now, right? God. Dang.
But everything else was fantastic. The emotion was good.
Wow.
I loved how when she threw the belt down, it was great. It was just great television. And then Triple H and Stephanie are like, what the heck?
What do we do?
It's good. You can see how the story's evolving, how it's going to become a triple threat. It's I think, to me, it's well done. I know a lot of people are saying now it's like, oh, it's dragging on. It's not that good. I'm liking this. It's progressing. You're not just going to throw it at us last minute. It's going to come in time.
How could you be dissatisfied after that Ronda Rousey promo on Raw? It was excellent.
Well, I think people will always be dissatisfied because it's not going to be one-on-one. It's not going to be Becky versus Ronda.
It shouldn't be.
The Charlotte promo was lacking, though, on SmackDown.
Sure, but she's still Charlotte Flair. She's still the whole franchise. She's still the centerpiece of the women's division and has been for years. She is Charlotte Flair. She's the queen. She deserves to be in the first ever women's main event for WrestleMania. This match will close the show, and Charlotte deserves to be there.
I just understand how people are getting upset where it always feels like it's Becky and Charlotte. It feels like Charlotte always like is piggybacking off of Becky.
Becky would not be in this match. This is Charlotte's match. Becky is only in this match because she came out of Charlotte's shadow. It was always Charlotte and Becky was an afterthought, but Becky became the main thought, and now she is on par with Charlotte Flair. Now she is at her level. She's elevated herself to get to Charlotte. What's the problem?
Problem, like, it just seems like an endless loop. It's always Charlotte and Becky and something else.
Well, there's going to be a draft the week after WrestleMania so they could separate them. put one on one brand, one on the other. I'd be happy to see Charlotte and Becky interacting with Sasha and Bayley more often.
We'll see what happens with Sasha and Bayley because they've yet to defend the women's tag team titles. They're set to defend at Fastlane
against Nia and Tamina.
And yet they're pushing the whole thing that Sasha has never successfully defended a championship, or at least on the main roster. Mm-hmm. She's never successfully defended a championship. So are they going to win or are they going to lose? It's interesting.
Well, let's think about this logically. How many babyface tag teams are there and how many heel tag teams are there as far as opponents? I think that there are more heel tag teams for Sasha and Bayley to face off against than babyface tag teams. The Riot Squad are heels. Mandy and Sonya are heels. The Iconics are heels. There are very few babyface tag teams. I don't think there are any other than Sasha and Bayley right now.
You'd have to make
Naomi and Carmella was the only other babyface tag team in that Elimination Chamber. 6 teams, 2 babyface teams, and Naomi and Carmella aren't even a real team. So if I'm the WWE, I'm keeping the titles on Sasha and Bayley until you come up with a couple other babyface tag teams, because if you put the titles on Nia and Tamina, you'll have no opponents other than Sasha and Bayley. At least with the Boss and Hug connection, with the belts, they've got other people to wrestle. The Iconics, Mandy Rose, Sonya, the Riot Squad.
I could see Mandy Rose and Sonya against Sasha and Bayley. Makes sense. But I could also see Lita and Trish come and wrestle Nia and Tamina at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't think that's right.
Doesn't matter what's right. It's what's going to sell.
Mm-hmm. So Ronda and Becky, they went at it on Twitter this week. Right? And it got real intense. And some of these things I can't even repeat because we're on AM radio.
It's fun.
It is fun. It has been fun. At Becky Lynch, WWE, she posts a photo of her mugshot that was taken when she was arrested on Raw. Not really arrested, but, WWE arrested. Right? So Becky goes, Ronda, you go back and get that belt, because I didn't come this far to collect it from Stephanie. I came all this way to take it from you. So Becky's saying, hey, Ronda, you dropped the belt. You gave it to Stephanie. Go get it because I want to wrestle you for it. Don't just give it up, right? Meanwhile, on SmackDown, Charlotte Flair cut a promo saying she's coming to Raw on Monday night to take the belt. If Ronda's not around and Becky's not around and Ronda wants to give up the title, Charlotte says she's happy to be the Raw Women's Champion. So she's assuming she'll be given the belt on Raw Monday night, which could happen. Could happen, right?
Found it interesting that Charlotte didn't seem to care whatsoever that her dad got beat up.
Yeah, didn't mention it at all. Didn't say, hey, Batista, you're a real jerk. Said nothing about it. Was just like, Becky Lynch, I'm coming for you. I'm taking Ronda's belt. Da-da-da. So then Becky says, I came all this way to take it from you. So then Ronda says, that's what I'm trying to do, dumbass. You hobbling around trying to be a ginger crutch ninja and taking fake prison photos in the hallway isn't helping. Ronda, you're not supposed to expose the fact that the prison photos, the mugshots, are fake and that they were taken in the hallway. Kayfabe, Ronda. You gotta maintain that Becky was arrested and those are real mugshot photos because that's a story on Raw. You're not supposed to go out on Twitter and say there were fake mugshot photos taken in the hallway. A clear departure from the storyline there from Ronda. Fake prison photos in the hallway. So then Becky responds, keep that F word out of your mouth, fake, and concentrate on getting better at this business instead of trying to remain above it. Looking forward to seeing you real soon. And then post a photo of Ronda Rousey as Tommy Wiseau saying, what is line? Okay. And then Ronda goes, F word? You mean fake? fake like your nonsensical BS armbar that doesn't even work and just looks like you're holding the, I'm going to use the word penis, you wish you had? So Ronda's saying Becky wishes she had a penis for some reason. Saying that her armbar looks like it is her holding her own penis. And she's saying that armbar doesn't even work. Now, that's a legit armbar. You can use that armbar. It's more of a shoulder crank than an armbar. But like Ronda should know that Becky's armbar, it's like a Fujiwara armbar. That'll work on somebody if you do it to them. Like, of course, there are ways to pop out of it, but if you have somebody in that position, the disarmor works. I've tapped people to it. So, just saying. That does work. It's a good move. Ronda's saying it's like a nonsensical armbar. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't want to argue with the queen of armbars because I know she could armbar me. But, like, I rolled, I do jujitsu too. Like, that armbar's okay. Like, it'll work. It's not a high percentage move, but, if you pull on the arm in that way, you're going to snap it off. So, I don't really know what Ronda's talking about. I mean, you're going to tear the shoulder. It's more of an omoplata than a thing. But it's like a Fujiwara armbar, right? You know what I'm talking about, John.
Right, but Ronda's just pretty much dissing Becky, pretty much. That's it. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. She's just bashing her, pretty much.
Yeah. So she's bashing her finisher. She's saying she's taking fake photos in the hallway. All Becky has really said is, keeping stuff in the business. She did kind of say, try to get better at the business instead of trying to remain above it, which was a hard shot. So then Ronda says, you look like you're holding your penis. You wish you had because you call yourself the man. And Ronda has said a lot of this stuff about Becky. And then Becky tweets out a photo, the same photo of her with the armbar, except, it does look exactly like one now that you mention it. And Becky posts a photo with her holding the armbar, but instead of the fist on the arm, it's Ronda's husband, Travis Brown. It's his head. So, So Becky is saying that now it looks like a penis because Travis Scott is like a penis head, right?
Travis Brown.
Travis Scott is a different guy. Sorry. So all this goes on. So now Becky is taking a step further and involved Ronda's husband. Ronda responds, Rebecca Quinn, Becky's real name. Okay?
It's personal now.
Right?
It's personal.
Rebecca Quinn, I don't care what the script says. I'm beating the living S out of you the next time I see you.
It's on.
What? And people are like, whoa, Ronda, this is a work, right? You get this as like a storyline. Like, what? If I'm Becky, I'm worried. I don't think Becky is worried, though, because Becky's a badass for real. Like, Becky is not scared, even though she should be. She's got to be scared a bit, right? She's got to be scared a bit. I'd be scared if Ronda was saying this about me using my real name. I'd be like, uh-oh. Ronda's tough. Ronda's legit tough. This is like pissing off Brock Lesnar. It's not a good idea. Oh, my goodness. It adds so much to the story, though, doesn't it? Doesn't it make you want to watch Raw to see what Ronda's going to do next?
The only problem is WWE's not too happy about all this because I guess they went too far. On some levels, they did.
Have they gone too far? It's got everybody in the wrestling world talking. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? This is the hottest angle in the wrestling business. And part of it is the Twitter game from both of them. However, when they're going so hard at each other on Twitter, you wonder if at some point they work themselves into a shoot where they are, hey, you say mean stuff about me and I'll say mean stuff about you. Okay, cool. And then they say mean stuff about each other and then it gets really mean. And it's like, well, I thought the agreement was we say mean stuff about each other. Yeah, but what you said was too mean. Well, what you said was really mean. Oh, yeah? Yeah! And then they fight for real. Recall Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. That's what happened to them. And it could happen to Becky and Ronda. The only difference is, unlike Bret and Shawn, Ronda could really kick people's asses. No disrespect to Bret and Shawn, but, you know, they never fought in the UFC. They were never world champion MMA fighters. And neither was Becky Lynch. So be careful, Becky. I hope you know what you're doing. I hope everybody's there watching, making sure Ronda doesn't mean it. Ronda's like, I've got money. You're going to have to sue me. Whatever. I don't care. Ronda's not messing around. I love this Ronda Rousey character. She's awesome. How could you not get behind Ronda? I know everybody's Team Becky, but, like, man, Ronda is doing such great work. Such great work. The promo on Raw. Everything. It's just been tremendous.
It's been fun, and I'm really looking forward to this match at WrestleMania. I mean, it deserves to be the main event, given all the work they're putting into it, without question. It's just maybe some words they probably shouldn't have said, like the G word. It's going too far.
The G word. We're saying the G word now.
Yeah. You can't say that. You went too far with that. But besides that...
What do you say when you want to cook with some ginger? Can you say ginger?
In that context.
In the cooking context,
yeah,
but not referring to people with red hair.
Exactly.
That's wrong.
That's wrong.
The G word.
You know, PC.
Are we starting this? Are we starting? I don't want to start like a new one. The R word, the N word, the J word.
Oh, we're definitely going there. It's happening.
What's the J word? Johnny. I made that one up.
There's a couple of J words. You have to watch Dave and Johnny live for
the
that
C
stuff.
word. The C word is one, right?
There's a lot of C words.
Yeah. God. The G word. Ginger. That's a new one that we've coined this week.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this match now. It adds to it. This is great. I love this. This is fantastic. This is what wrestling should be.
Yeah. People going hard where you feel like, is this real? That's what you want. That's what you want in a match. And it very rarely happens where you're like, are they going to hurt each other? Like, I am halfway concerned for Becky. Like, I think Ronda's going to be a professional and it'll all be fine. But there's a little bit in me that thinks, well, Ronda's pretty protective of her people. You're talking trash about her husband. Ronda, you know, she can get real mad. And when you get real mad, you never know. And Ronda has the ability to do whatever she wants. Like she said a few weeks ago on Raw, I could kill you with my bare hands in like 10 seconds and not even break a sweat. And the only thing stopping me is myself. But if she doesn't want to stop herself, she could do it to the entire roster. Men and women, by the way.
Again, deserves to be the main event of WrestleMania. If it feels like Becky's really going to have to earn that championship now in a lot of ways.
As big as Becky has been, as great as she is, from Mania to Mania, no one, and I'm talking about Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, no one has had a bigger, more eventful year, more impactful year than Ronda Rousey. From last year's Mania where she made her debut to this year's Mania where she's main eventing with the hottest storyline in the business. Cutting promos like the best thing going, having matches that are better than anything. No one has had a bigger year than Ronda Rousey. And the whole wrestling business should be thankful that we have Ronda and that we have had Ronda for as long and as often as we've had her. She's wrestled pretty much everybody on the roster. On Raw, she's there every week. You gotta respect what Ronda has done this past year. Compare her and her star power to Brock Lesnar and what Brock has done for the WWE this year. It's laughable. I hope Ronda makes 10 times what Brock makes this year from WWE. At least. She deserves 100 times what Brock has done because she's probably worked 100 times more matches than he's done this year.
I think without question, Ronda Rousey's the most valuable superstar they have on the roster.
MVP.
There's no question about that.
Give her a slammy. Put her in the Hall of Fame. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, we talked about it last week, but it was made official this week. He's cool, he's cocky, he's bad. He's a honky-tonk man. He's going into the WWE Hall of Fame.
That's great. He wants it, so it's fantastic that he got it.
Elias will induct him, I guess? Elias is the modern-day honky-tonk man, is he not?
Not Santino? Should be Santino.
Nah, they don't bring back Santino. Not Jerry, his cousin, Jerry Lawler? I don't think they get along.
He could, though.
He'll wind up burying him the whole time. Doesn't Jerry host the Hall of Fame anyways?
He does, yeah.
He's the host, so he doesn't need to induct old Honky. I bet you he's going to take a shot at him, though. He's going to say something about Honky Tonk Man. Watch for that. Watch for Jerry saying something underhanded about Honky Tonk Man.
Well, he should probably do it because Honky's clearly going to talk about him in his speech, so...
Oh, boy. Honky's speech is going to be crazy. I can't wait for that.
A lot of bleeps, I imagine.
Honky Tonk Man. All right. Elsewhere on Raw this week, we had Aleister Black and Ricochet beating the Revival. So for 2 straight weeks now, the Revival, the tag team champions of Raw, losing to NXT teams. Last week it was DIY. This week it was Black and Ricochet. And Black and Ricochet wrestling on SmackDown as a team as well, beating Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Black hitting his Black Mass kick on Nakamura to pin him clean, which, I don't know. I figure Shinsuke is probably on his way out given the way he's been booked lately, right?
Unless they turn around and give them the tag team titles, give them a big match WrestleMania. I can't imagine them leaving right away. They're going somewhere with this Rusev Nakamura thing. It's just right now.
Are they, though?
I think so.
I think they're going out the door. I think they're both trying to leave. Rusev's Twitter game, Lana on Twitter. I posted a video that Lana posted on my Twitter at Dave Simon MMA. Lana just taking shots at Ronda Rousey, upset that Ronda's going to be replacing her on Total Divas. Which, by the way, if you think Ronda Rousey is leaving WWE after WrestleMania, I would think again. If she's going to be on the next season of Total Divas, she's probably going to be wrestling at the same time.
Well, she doesn't need to wrestle to be on Total Paige on Total Divas.
But she's on the road. You got to be involved in WWE, and Ronda's not going to be on the road if she's not wrestling. So, as much as everybody wants to see Becky win at Mania, don't be surprised if Ronda walks away still champion.
No, I don't think Ronda's going to win, but that's why it's a triple threat match, right? Ronda doesn't need to really get pinned or submitted.
I think Ronda might win.
All right. I think Charlotte might win, so that'll make everyone happy.
Oh, yeah. Charlotte Flair. She's supposed to be on Raw this week. Expect Becky Lynch to show up on Raw this week. More stuff there. Before we wrap up, I know we're short on time here, but I wanted to commend Lio Rush because he's very good. He had a very good match with Finn Balor this week on Raw. He's an unbelievable athlete. Some of the things he does in the ring are just amazing. Ricochet level stuff. You know, he's crazy good. Super talented. Young guy. He's got so much potential in this business. He's got a very bright future. He can cut a promo. He's a good heel. He's a good babyface. He can be cocky. He can be sympathetic. In the short time that he's been on TV, Lio Rush has shown that he is an extremely versatile and talented performer, and I was really happy to see him get a little bit of shine there in a competitive match with Finn Balor on Raw. It made Balor look good, and it made Lio Rush look good as well. People don't give Lio Rush enough credit. He is very talented.
I agree. It's just too bad that stupid segment they had, a Moment of Bliss, is what started the match. Because I wasn't really looking forward to it until the match started, and it was quite good. He took that shovel driver on top of his head pretty much, and then the coup de grace, that was a great end sequence to the match.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Amazing finish, amazing match. That Alexa Bliss thing was super weird. Alexa had Finn Balor as her guest on the Moment of Bliss, and she's talking about how the Intercontinental title covers up his abs, and she's like, if you show me your abs, I'll show you my... And then Lio Rush interrupted, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where was that going? And then Corey Graves got all mad like he was Jerry Lawler in 97, you know, like, oh, we're going to see puppies! Lio Rush, you interrupted the puppies! You know, like, that was weird, man. That was weird. Alexa Bliss like, show me your abs and I'll show you my... I was like, what? What? What are you saying here? Is this Raw from 2019 or what? It was an odd moment on Raw that I was not expecting, and this is how they're using Alexa Bliss. It's odd.
Oh, they're just giving her a character, right? Where she's kind of like hitting on
everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. That's her thing.
It's not good. It's not good. I think it should be cut immediately. It's not.
No, I got nothing wrong with it. It gives her something.
It's something, but like, really? That's what you give her? R-Truth had a great promo on SmackDown this week. He says he wants to do just like his hero from when he was a little kid, John Cena did, and have a U.S. title open challenge. Truth is older than John Cena. Rey Mysterio and Andrade both answered the challenge, and Truth wound up rolling up Rey Mysterio to retain the title in a pretty fun triple threat match, and R-Truth somehow remains the U.S. champion.
Didn't R-Truth and John Cena used to beef as well? Because in TNA, R-Truth was rapping, and like John Cena was starting the gimmick, and R-Truth was pissed, and like I think they saw each other like at an airport one time, and there was like this awkward exchange.
I don't know, but I know that they are good friends, and that they traveled together for many years. They're good buddies.
Now, yes. But
yeah, maybe back then.
Back then, not so much.
But now they're tight. And R-Truth did the 5-knuckle shuffle during the match.
That was fun.
And he said, what would John Cena do? And Carmella's like, John Cena would take them both on. And he's like, all right, I'm going to do that.
No, then he's like, wait a minute, John Cena's brave. I can't believe that.
Oh, yeah. He's like, wow, John Cena. Oh, it's good stuff. Truth is very good. Super talented, and he's always fun to watch. Kind of like you, Johnny North. Super talented, always fun to watch. Slightly less confused than R-Truth, but yeah, maybe not. When can people see you in the ring?
It's going to be March 24th, 4325 Industrial Boulevard. Bell time 2 p.m., defending the British Commonwealth Championship against Sheldon Jean.
Hell yeah. The title reign continues. Follow him on Twitter at North Genesis. Follow him on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. WrestlingUncensored.net is our website. Go to our YouTube channel right now. We are live. YouTube.com/RingsideReport.net. YouTube.com/RingsideReport. DOTNET. We got a UFC 235 post show going on right now. Go check it out. Fred Garcia's there. AJ DeLesio is there. Always a good time. For Johnny North, I want to thank Jimmy and Marco for helping us out back at TSN 690, and a big thanks to you for listening. I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.